Hey folks, before we get started with this video, I just want to do a quick life update. My girlfriend's cat isn't doing particularly well right now. He's ended up at the vet a bunch of times, and we think he has pancreatitis right now. We're not 100% sure, but we think that's what's up. So I'm going to plug my girlfriend's side hustle today in hopes of, raising some money for our good cat friend Midnight. She does clothing reselling on this site called Poshmark. Essentially, she goes thrifting, buys clothes, like name brand stuff, and then resells them on this site for a discount. So if this is something that sounds interesting to you, this will be the top thing in my video description every day this week. Consider checking it out, or if you have any female friends who are into clothing, maybe pass it their way. Or if you're interested to supporting the cause, but you're not really interested in clothes, you can use my usual donation information to throw some support that way. Just, make sure it's clear that it's for the cat or vet bills or something for tax purposes. All right, let's get on with the show. Hey folks, Phil Gallagher of ThrabenU here for another Legacy video. Today we're going to be playing Keith S's Mono Black Control list. Okay, so this was a tier 2 donation deck list, which means I made some pretty substantial edits to it. If you're interested in what the original list looked like and how and why I changed things, that's available as about a 10-minute long member exclusive video. Looking at what I came up with after I did the tweaking, essentially we have a bunch of fast mana in the forms of Chrome Mox and Dark Ritual that we're going to use to power out mono black staples, such as Dark Confidant, Hymn to Tourach, and the various Lilianas, as well as Opposition Agent. We're playing a deck that has very high ceilings and very low floors, so when our stuff works, it is going to be really strong, and when it doesn't, we might have the wrong pieces at the wrong time. If we're in a top deck war and I draw things like Hymn to Tourachs and Thoughtseizes, that's not going to be the best. But when I go like turn 1 Dark Ritual Opposition Agent and my opponent is looking at a hand full of fetch lands, well, that's something different. We have some Modern Horizons 2 cards in here that have really powered up this archetype. Sudden Edict is just an absolutely amazing removal spell. It probably would be seeing more Legacy play if black was a more popular color right now, but it's just not. The blue-red decks are just so popular. Expressive Iteration is very strong right now, and Prismatic Ending and Endurance have given people strong reasons to be in other colors as well. One of the most interesting things in this deck list is the full playset, I believe. Or no, we're on 3 Tourach Dread Cantors. So this is a 2/1 pro-white. Whenever an opponent discards a card, you put a +1/+1 counter on it. And if you pay the kicker, you also get a Hymn to Tourach when this thing enters play. Against something like Death and Taxes, this could be a really scary and very difficult to remove threat. The mana base is a little interesting here. We're playing a pair of High of the Eye Tyrant. It enters tapped if you control 2 or more other lands. It taps for black, and for 4 mana, it becomes a 3/3 black Beholder creature with Menace, and when it attacks, exile target card from defending player's graveyard. So that's kind of neat. As far as the sideboard goes, the most notable thing here is a playset of Ashiok Dreamrender. So this is just so we can have another thing that's decently good versus combo to play off of Dark Ritual and Chrome Mox. It also serves as some of our graveyard hate, although we are going to be playing some more than that. And this is just also a good way to end games versus control. Some of these decks, like the Bant control decks, are really slow at closing out games, and so if you mill them for 20 cards over the course of a game, they might not win the game before you have milled them out. I love playing mono black decks, so I'm really excited to see this one action. If you're new here, please consider subscribing for Legacy, Modern, and Vintage content 5 days a week. If you're a regular, throw me a like before we get started. It's the easiest way to support my content. And if you want to try this deck out or get one of your own decks on the YouTube channel, that information is in the video description. Let's battle. Okay, this hand is kick-ass. I have to decide how I am going to play it. I think I'm supposed to Chrome Mox Thoughtseize. Well, I guess I can just swamp Thoughtseize and then Chrome Mox something else. I need this information. Figure out what I'm doing. Oh. Okay, we're playing on some sort of bug deck. Tarmogoyf is the only card that I care about in my opponent's hand. They have both their colors, even if I take them off of Polluted Delta. I think I just take the Tarmogoyf here. Then I'm going to go Chrome Mox, and imprint the Thoughtseize, Dark Ritual, And I'm just going to put the Bob into play since I know that my opponent has, like, discard in their deck, multiple pieces of discard at that. I hemorrhaged a lot of resources on turn 1, but unless my opponent naturally draws a removal spell, I should be pretty good to go. Okay, yep, that's fine. I'm good with losing this. Yep, now we just count on Bob to do Bob things and win this game. Okay, I've got a Sudden Edict. Let's turn Bob sideways. Get my opponent down to 16. Got Sudden Edict for a Tarmogoyf or equivalent that my opponent draws. Main deck Duress is a little weird. Okay. Yeah. Pick up a Swamp. Now I need to top deck a new threat. That's not a threat, but we take these. Oh, no. We hit a Life from the Loam. That's unfortunate. Okay, my opponent's not dredging it back. Okay, there goes my Sudden Edict. Okay, this can get me a 1-drop back right now. If I get one more mana, I can turn this into a Dark Confidant. So I think I just don't play this out as a land. There is a chance this gets like Duress or Thoughtseize or something, which wouldn't be the best, but I'd still be trading 1 for 1 with it, which I think is better than just playing out a land. Okay. This name's Human. Ask this, target Dark Confidant. Each have a different value, X or less. I can only do X is 2. So just Dark Confidant. X is 2. Done. We'll see if this gets forced. Days. Okay. The opponent's deck is definitely off meta for right now. Bug control decks are very much not common currently. I'm going to hold that. If my opponent has a Thoughtseize effect, I would like them to use it rather than just like have it sit in their hand and then they brainstorm it back later. The opponent has Ghost Quarter, which is not great for me because they can knock me off this cavern and then my stuff becomes counterable. So this makes me think that they have a blue card to pair with Force of Will. Note, my pile of Ashioks in the sideboard is going to be hot in this matchup. Let's try this Voidwalker. Okay, it resolves. I'm just going to continue to hold this swamp until I have a reason to play it. Okay. Alright, another Assassin's Trophy. Good thing we have all these basics to pull out of my deck. Alright. Does this get the Force of Will? Great if it doesn't. Alright, that is a force pitching a force. I think I'm supposed to just jam that there rather than try to wait for a discard spell on my end. Because if it resolves, I get to go, like, Lily minus and then return a Dark Confidant to play. And that probably carries the game away pretty easily. On it not dredging the Life from the Loam. Isn't going to be like a Gurmag Angler or something. They're taking a while to pay for this. Oh, no, just a mana-intensive card. Makes a lot of my discard spells and such considerably worse. I think I'm currently at a disadvantage. Castle Lochwain is pretty good. Now I have a reason to play out my lands. Oh my god. Alright, let's not talk about that. Okay, there's a Life from the Loam. I'll lose this castle prior to getting a real activation of it, because I'm an idiot. I go down to 12 here. The beginning of the game was great, but my top decks have not been particularly kind afterwards. I expected to win this game after how strong my opener was. Opponent ripping the Assassin's Trophy to answer Bob that quickly meant that I didn't have a chance to recoup all the cards I lost in doing like the Dark Ritual Thoughtseize stuff at the beginning of the game. Yikes. Wonder if we ended up being a little bit too heavy on mana sources. Like, it's so important for us to have early mana sources. Oh, that Uro is going to beat me. This is probably the point where I just go ahead and concede if my opponent puts that Uro into play. Because I am just literally dead next turn. Yep, seems like my opponent is doing that. Oh no, black mana? Oh no, mistap. Yeah, this is bad news. Oh, my opponent picked up a Ghost Quarter. That's not a big deal. I have approximately infinity basics in my deck. But I am dead to the Uro next turn, and I don't think I can remove it. Like, I can Sudden Edict or something? Yeah, okay. Concede. Let's just check and make sure. If I would have gotten one card deeper, that really wouldn't have mattered. But I still messed up. So Ashiok seems great here. I don't know that I actually want to play like Surgical as well. It's fine. I want to keep a lot of high impact cards in my deck if I can. What do I want to cut? Not sure. I don't like super love discard versus my opponent, but I do want to be able to punch a hole so like something like a Dark Confidant or a Douthie Voidwalker can live for a few turns. Maybe I'm supposed to keep it. I think on the draw I'll probably cut my Thoughtseizes though. Maybe Tourach's not the greatest in this matchup. Maybe I go like something like this. That seems reasonable. Turn 1. Oh, this is not as good as it looks. This is turn 1 uncounterable Bob and Prey. The second Chrome Mox is essentially a dead card. Is this better than a 6-card hand? My opponent could have something like a Fatal Push that could get rid of Bob on 1, but I probably get at least 1 card back out of Bob. This is tough. I'm going to do it. I will believe in Bob. Alright, Chrome Mox. Imprint him. Cavern on Human. In Bob we trust. Please don't Fatal Push me. My spirit will leave my body. Okay, that doesn't cast Fatal Push. Yeah. Now, here's to hoping that we dodge Abrupt Decay and Assassin's Trophy next turn as well. That's a lot to ask for. But I have a lot of absolutely great top decks here, and I get 2 draws towards them. Okay, that's a Hymn. Hymn is totally legit. Let's cast that. All right, we got a Force and a Brainstorm, which is fine. That does mean that my opponent has something that they want to protect. It could be a removal spell. It could just be their lands. I'm in trouble if Bob gets removed. I was really hoping for a threat in my top 2 cards. Don't do it. Bob has so much to live for. Good. All right. Pick up the swamp. Just like an Ashiok. Let's go. Nope. Okay. Well, good game. Where's our companion? I would like to put my companion in my hand. Okay, that's fine. I have another one of those. That's also fine. That doesn't really do anything. Hopefully my opponent and I, like, both are kind of on nothing and we just stare each other down for a while. What's my opponent waiting to pay costs on? They have, like, a Surgical? Oh, man. Okay. Maybe we are not threat dense enough. I don't know, I added threats to the... Oh, okay, they were thinking about whether or not they wanted to cycle. Maybe they also have another Brainstorm in hand or something. Wanted to hold up the blue mana. Alright. Please don't, like, Uro me here. Okay. Old school. I respect it. Okay. Yeah, I have a lot of nothing going on. But man, a Planeswalker would be so good because it dodges Deed right now. Okay. Onder floating a green mana beforehand. I do not understand. Okay. Ghost Quarter is whatever. Tarmogoyf is fine. I have an answer to that in hand immediately. Let's just go ahead and kill this now. We're in a top deck war, and my opponent's deck has cantrips, and mine doesn't. I am not currently favored. That's great, though. Guess we're just playing this out now. Put that on human. Play Lily, and get to plus. Unless my opponent finds Life from the Loam, this is great for me. Because it just means... Oh, nice. They tapped themselves out of the Assassin's Trophy that could have answered this. This means that they can't hold, like, a Force of Will in hand to answer my stuff. Like, they can't hold Force of Will plus blue card right now. For sure. Do your thing. That was a quick shuffle. They did not find what they were looking for initially. I mean, that's annoying, but I can edict that away when it actually comes into play. Awkward. That's really awkward. I think I'm going to continue to plus this Lily. Got a daze for it. And I can just, like, minus and kill the Uro. My opponent also, like, does not necessarily have Uro mana right now without getting cute with their own Ghost Quarter. Okay, now they do. Alright, the Uro arrives. It's my intention to just minus and kill this. Opponent didn't hit a land, which is fine for me. Okay. So I'll junk their Uro. Thing is that, like, it just gets to come back. Discard ain't what it used to be. Okay, no land again. Ugh. Alright. Flooding out here. And my Lily is also, like, very much outclassed by my opponent's Uro. They can't do it again here. There's only 3 cards in graveyard right now. But they might be able to get cute with their Ghost Quarter. Like, Ghost Quarter one of their own lands and get it back into play this turn. At which point I don't have an immediate answer for it. Oh, they drew a Life from the Loam. Okay, I mean, that was the obvious bad scenario that I talked about, like, 4 turns ago. That's also not great for me. So now my edicts are going to be worse against what my opponent has going on. Well, I guess that's fine, but my opponent gets a draw card off this. Yeah. Goodbye, Leovold. Goodbye, 1 random land from your hand. Which unfortunately means that Uro can come back immediately. I've needed an Ashiok just so badly this match, both for the Life from the Loam stuff and the Uro stuff. I still don't necessarily think that I was supposed to board in the Surgicals. But like this is Uro round 3, which is tough. I think I need a Bob or equivalent power level card. Drawing an Ashiok on my next turn would be fine too, because I could Edict it and then send it away. Alright, Uro's back. Oof. Once again, I am asking you to sacrifice your Uro. A dredged Life from the Loam is going to result in that Uro coming back, probably a turn cycle from now anyway. Gotta get an Ashiok. A Liliana would be fine too. Like Liliana Last Hope returning my Dark Confidant would be a pretty strong turn cycle. If my opponent can't get Uro into play. Alright, that's a Tarmogoyf. Now my Ashiok is not particularly good anymore. Okay, and a Life from the Loam, so Uro gets to come back next turn. Well, alright. Maybe we have too many mana sources. Alright, and end of turn Brainstorm, which can also just like dredge Life from the Loam and build up the graveyard count. I think this is the point where I can go ahead and safely concede. I don't think I'm going to come back from 12 power in play. Oh gosh, and a second Uro. Yeah, this is the point where I am unfortunately not going to come back from this. GG's. I want to keep my round 2 hand here. We do have a double Cavern of Souls with like him and Lily, but I also can just play double uncounterable Douthie Voidwalker. That's maybe an okay start. I hope we're not playing against Doomsday, because I have the wrong portion of the deck if my opponent is playing Doomsday. No shuffle. Sudden Edict, also the wrong portion of the deck. Alright. Still smells like Doomsday. Oh no! Alright, Tourach only gives the him effect if it's kicked. So here is to hoping that we are... This is not a human. I hate everything about my life right now. I really thought this was a human. Fuck. Why is Cavern of Souls in this deck if everything's not humans? Alright. So we're losing game 1, basically. Is everything a rogue instead? No, because it's human wizard, human cleric, Douthie rogue. Okay, there is shared rogue though. Yeah. The graveyard honestly might not have mattered. We'll find out in a second. Okay, so there's Burning Wish, so we're playing against TES. Yeah, do your thing. Yeah. Okay, so the graveyard wouldn't super have mattered. We're just losing this one because we kept a hand that could not into Tourach. Oh, my critter gets bigger. That's good. So this is just going to be an ad nauseum from a high life total. That should pretty easily beat me. My opponent can already echo. Doesn't look deterministic yet though. It's a lot of mana. But that's a kill. Yeah. That's I believe a kill. I'll let my opponent do their thing to make sure I'm not wrong, but seems pretty easy to me. And they're going quickly, so it seems like they know what's up. They get double Rite of Flame here. That's 8 mana. And after Wish Claw, activate 8 Burning Wish Tendrils. Yeah. I have 2 Wish Claw Talismans. Yeah, okay. And they have a main deck Tendrils. Sure. Alright. Null Rod, I'll probably play the Ashiok's. Surgical Inquisition. I can Plague Engineer if I still have slots. So I do not want Sudden Edict. I do not want Lily Last Hope. The rest of my cards are reasonable. I want to cut a random land, I think. Tourach Dread Cantor seems kind of slow here. I think most of my other plays are stronger than it. I'm treating that as a 4-mana play. This is a keep. I have to decide how I am going to play it. I think I want to Hymn to Tourach before my opponent can cast a Veil of Summer, which I think means putting Dark Ritual under here. And then I'll play Lily as my follow-up. It sucks if I get duressed, but otherwise it's pretty good. Alright, Burning Wish, Lotus Petal. Absolutely acceptable. I'm just going to play Lily this turn. I'll plus and discard the Cavernous Souls, and we can talk about Hymn to Tourach later. Plus, don't Cavern. Okay. Gromux hits the bin, which makes sense. The card becomes much worse once a Lily is involved. Okay. Oh, don't do the thing. You only have 3 cards in hand. I don't think you can do the thing. It'd be like an LED Echo or something, but I think this is just going to be playing out either a Wishclaw Talisman or a Burning Wish for the future. Ah! I'm just going to main phase this. That's pretty good. And I think it is worth it to go ahead and plus, discard my Hymn and one of my opponent's random cards. Hey! Remember when I played around that? Twice? Good call. Sure. Okay, sure. Yes. And that was a shuffle. I'll just be playing that as a land. I'll hit in for 3. Opponent goes to 16. Play that as the Crypt. No. Lily plus. Get a Ponder for our trouble. Okay, sure. Nice land. Oh, I even get redundancy here. That's dope. My opponent's Hellbent, so I'm just gonna play this. Okay, my opponent is done with my bullshit, which is understandable. Let's run back the same plan here. I'll be keeping this hand. I am a little bit soft to a discard spell on Dark Ritual. Otherwise, turn 1 Ashiok is pretty hot. But mulling to beat discard often leaves you in a pretty awkward spot, so I'm good with keeping this. Oh, don't just turn 1 me. Oh no. To be fair, this could just be them setting up. Yep, okay. Alright, cool. So I will Dark Ritual. And I think Ashiok is better than Lily of the Veil. It is possible that I am wrong. So this keeps my opponent off of fetch lands and tutors. Oh, I hit the Ad Nauseam. That's pretty clutch. That makes a lot of lines much more difficult. So I want to play my Douthie Voidwalker prior to activating Ashiok. So that the cards go into exile with, what are they? What kind of counters are these? Shadow counters? Void counters. Milieu. You can use a Veil Summer if you want. Okay. There's some interesting stuff out there. I think if it makes it back around to me and I get to like start plussing a Lily in addition to the other stuff that I'm doing, my opponent's not in great shape. Alright, my Surgical doesn't look great here. I'll pay the 3 life for this. Crash in. Opponent goes to 17. We'll Milieu. Okay. Corrupt Decay there is interesting. Nice. I'll be discarding my Surgical Extraction here. Between the Ashiok and the Douthie Voidwalker, it's... Oh, my opponent was not willing to use a Lotus Petal to cast Veil of Summer to stop an Ashiok activation. Or they didn't realize they could do that, but I bet they realized. Well, I don't know. Ashiok is pretty fringe. Okay, we're on the scoreboard. We're now 1-1 with Mono Black. Okay, I've kept my hand here. I will Dark Ritual out something on turn 1, but I won't really know what I want to do until I see what my opponent is working with on the other side of the battlefield. Like, if I'm getting combo vibes, I play him. If I'm getting fair vibes, I play... Sorry, I had a moment there. Dark Ritual. Lily Last Hope. plus on Heritage Druid. I'm not even sorry. Do we get... Oh, we do not get the immediate concession. So I just hit my opponent with a couple of Hymn to Tourachs and let them fetch a Dryad Arbor. Good with that. I think that's better than playing a Bob this turn. MU? Nice. My hand is making it so that my opponent would be hard-pressed to save up for something like a natural order. They might try to hold this fetch land for as long as possible rather than immediately fetching a Dryad Arbor to try to do like a turn 5 Dryad Arbor plus Glimpse, or maybe turn 4 fetch at my end step. Okay, Cradle's good. What you got? Sure, that's fine. That's an Elvish Reclaimer with only 2 lands in graveyard. Probably just take the remaining 2 cards out of my opponent's hand and start doing other stuff. Alternatively, I could play Dauthi Voidwalker so this never grows, but I don't think I'm super worried about that card right now. Goodbye. Got rid of a Glimpse there. Did grow that thing up, since they discarded a Dryad Arbor, but again, if this thing is only attacking for 1 a turn, it is not super relevant. Yep, you can give my Lily a little love tap. Yeah, sure. Now this can represent a Dryad Arbor. Alright, we'll go human. Play Bob. Play Dauthi Voidwalker. Plus on this. Short of my opponent top decking a natural order, I am in very, very good shape. Okay, fetch away. They are going for a Dryad Arbor, which I can plus and kill if that's something that I end up wanting to do. A little awkward because like Elvish Reclaimer might rotate it away. Alright, my opponent is just done with me. That's fair. I would like these Plague Engineers and probably these Dismembers. I can think about Ashiok's as well. Shutting off the glimpses and such is pretty good. It's just a little hard to protect these. I don't super think Liliana the Veil is good. My opponent has so many disposable creatures that, like, the Edict at 3 mana is a little rough. I think I'll be keeping my Sudden Edicts. I think, like, I'm just going to start trimming a land every round. I think I'm just a little mana heavy. And maybe these Tourach Dreadcanters aren't great. I play 1 Ashiok as another finisher. That's probably reasonable. Yeah, I think we're going to keep the hand with 2 Plague Engineers versus Elves. That seems fine. I'll need another mana. But I have a turn 1 and turn 2 play worked out. Dauthi Voidwalker, a player cast, is a play, so I could theoretically use it to get a land if I need to. Alright. Yeah, I will just be dismembering this Dryad Arbor to slow my opponent down. I just need to get to the point where I cast Plague Engineers, and I probably win most of the time. Not all the time, like, you should never count Elves out. Oh, I just get to Plague Engineer next turn. I think I do that enough of the time that I just play a Chrome Mox this turn. So I can take 1 less damage from Dismember. Let's pay a life, and then pay mana for the other 2. And my Chrome Mox can't be like Rex Sage this turn since I set my opponent back on mana, so that's a fine play. Sure, that's fine. That is an elf that lives through Plague Engineer. Alright. Let's play the Engineer. Elf. Now, if my opponent does not put another land into their graveyard this turn, I do just get to kill this next turn with the second Plague Engineer, if it also goes on Elf. But we'll kind of have to see how things go. Sure. I believe I'm just going to put the second one of these on Elf and kill Elvish Reclaimer rather than kill Dryad Arbor. Is that true? Yeah, because this gives access to, like, Gaia's Cradle and shit. I think that's true. Name Elf again. So now my opponent is basically going to be on Wirewood Symbiotes and just trying to naturally get to 4 mana and cast a natural order. Yep. Okay. Play this pre-combat. Sure. Grab a swamp. Yep, so we're basically just scared of natural order. The Elvish Reclaimers are back online as playable cards, though. This has Shadow. How does this card read? Yeah, so I probably just want to do this pre-combat. Alright, so let's return this. Yeah, since this is a mana source, I'm just going to name Dryad here. Hit my opponent for 5. in pretty good shape. So notably, the Dryad Arbor does now have a void counter on it. I wouldn't want to cash that in, but we'll probably want to keep this zone pulled up for now. Oh, that's disgusting. Send these in. That's fine. And I'm just going to pass with Opposition Agent and see if we can get guard out of it. Fine. That's fine. Have my opponent dead no matter what in 2 turns via Dalthy Voidwalker. Sure. So now they can just play the Reclaimer untapped. That's fine. Oh, yeah. I will take that. As a delicious free Wirewood Symbiote for me. Yep, and that gets the concession. We're now 2-on-1, right? Yeah. Alright, I've kept my opening hand here. I don't have a turn 1 play. I don't have any acceleration, but I have a very good proactive turn 2 play, and I have 2 removal spells for if my opponent is playing something like Delver. I think that's a good combination. Okay, we got. This is a pretty ambiguous opener. We could be playing against a lot of things. My little dial is tilted ever so slightly towards control, but, you know, hard to say. All right. Kind of looking like controlling lands. Yep. So probably some sort of Ice Fang Coatl bug or bug adjacent deck. I want to land. Yes, thank you. All right. I think the play is actually just an opposition agent here. Like literally right now, rather than one of the planeswalkers. Lily of the Veil isn't great versus Sylvan Library, and Liliana the Hope isn't positively impacting the board right now. I'd rather just try to keep my opponent from fetching. Okay, did not get Force of Willed, which is nice. My opponent goes to 16. I have a good amount of pressure. I have an answer to an Icefang Coatl that is played out to try to ambush one of these things in combat. Oh, wow. Going deep. Oh, this could be a prismatic ending to answer my opposition agent. Yep. That's fine. Okay, Cavern is cool. Ooh. They have 6 mana. 6 mana isn't actually all that useful. Well, 6 mana could be double Planeswalker. Is just playing Tourach better? Just playing Tourach this turn and then doing double Planeswalker next turn might be better, though. Cast with Kicker. Alright, Tourach. Here's your big moment. Oh, wow, we got Prismatic Ending and Jace for our troubles. I have 6 power on board, meaning my opponent is on a 2-turn clock, and then I also have these 2 Planeswalkers in the hole, / I also have, like, double Sudden Edict to prevent blockers from getting in my way. This is not a bad position to be in. Alright. See if a Brainstorm can fix things for my opponent. Every point of life is precious here for them. Still going for basics. Okay. The time spent pondering is a little scary. Also scary is the fact that this is pro-white, so it doesn't get answered by Prismatic Ending and Source of Plowshares. Okay, nice. So let's just try to get in my 6 damage before doing anything else. I don't expect anything is going to happen in combat. This is definitely going to be a Dark Ritual turn. But I don't think it's double Planeswalker. I think I go Hymn to Tourach. And then Lily Veil. Oh shit. I guess I could have done... Fuck, I could have killed my opponent. I did this pre-combat. But I wanted to make sure, like, I wasn't going to eat a Swords of Plowshares mid-combat that would make me want to change my mind about what I was doing. Yeah, maybe that was a mistake on my end, because, like, it would be the Bob that got Swords to Plowshared. Lily Veil. And I've got Sudden Edict to answer in Uro. Oh, no. I mean, I will have double Planeswalker. It's not so bad. Yeah, I guess I should have gone for the kill last turn. If I'm being honest, I'm just not used to, like, Turach's ability actually triggering. Tourach has done a lot of nothing the previous leagues that I've played with him. This was the first time I got a Tourach that was just, like, large. Alright, my opponent's Hellbent. I will play a Lily Last Hope. And I think I just plus and discard this Swamp. Just keep this ticking up. I think I'm fine with that card disadvantage. And we'll just work both lilies towards ultimate. I think either one of them ultimating probably wins the game. Alright, my opponent goes to 2. They will gain some life back from this Uro, though. Alright, Uro comes back. Alright, my opponent gets a Scalding Tarn for their trouble. Do I just Lily minus and hold cards in hand? If I Sudden Edict, I can Lily plus and then ultimate next turn. I think I will just Sudden Edict then. Discard this Dark Ritual plus the other Lily. Opponent goes to 4. Oh, they've got Mystic Sanctuary for Prismatic Ending. That's really good. So now they can stop this Planeswalker from ultimating, and it cost me 2 cards along the way. Well, 3 if you count the Lily that I also discarded. Yeah, I am really soft to Uro in game 1. Yep. Prismatic Ending is so good. So good. Just -6. Oh, it's -7. So I can answer the Uro once. So my opponent plays Uro this turn. I plus this. My opponent plays Uro the following turn. I ultimate, and then the zombies will beat the Uro. Opponent might get some hits in the interim, but it will do its thing. I will kill it with fire. I guess I can let them draw first. It shouldn't change anything. And there's the Edict again. It's just gonna come back. Okay. Alright, here's to hoping no Prismatic Ending. The Liliana emblem gets out of control very quickly, and I also don't need to do that much damage to my opponent. Ooh, they have Life from the Loam as well. Sure. They can have another green source here and then get Uro. Oh, Mystic Sanctuary. Cantrip. Damn it. That's pretty frustrating. We're quite dead now. If you want a clear indicator between tiers of legacy decks, this is showing that well. Cool. Yeah, I guess I should have gone for the kill that one turn, where I should have hymned and Lily plussed prior to attacking with Tourach. Yeah, it took a while, but that ended up being a game-losing punt in all likelihood. Alright, the Uro comes back. Opponent does get a new land. Okay, Expressive Iteration is in this pile too. Sure. Oh, there's more. Okay, I think this is now enough that I'm gonna concede and value viewer time. I want these Ashioks. Do I actually want Surgical as well, just since I'm just that bad versus Uro? I might. Not sure what I'm supposed to board out. Probably the discard. Probably just, like, stop trying to attack my opponent's hand for the most part, and just keep threats. Possible when I'm on the play, I should keep these hymns rather than playing Surgicals for Uro. I don't know, the Surgicals get worse if I take out a bunch of the discard. Yeah, whatever, it's submitted already. Is this hand actually fine? I don't think so. I would really like the ability to do something early. This thing is hard to remove. I don't know, maybe this thing being hard to remove is good enough to keep a hand. Yeah, okay. Land go. Aiga is in there too. Wow. Oh, that's a nice draw. Alright, confirm. Human. Alright, difficult to remove, uncounterable 2/1. Okay, sure. That doesn't actually do anything this turn. Opponent goes to 18. I think I'm going to upkeep Opposition Agent them. I'm going to draw step it. That way I play around Terminus. My opponent does not have blue mana currently. Nice. Alright, let's go ahead and make my attacks. Hit my opponent here. I will respond. This is what you get for waiting. Now they don't get to fetch because they didn't play around a second Opposition Agent. So I will go land, Dark Ritual, Tempt Lily. This will be the first thing that my opponent's had an opportunity to counter this game. Alright, so I have 5 power on board. I've shut my opponent off of fetching. Life is pretty good. This will bring my opponent to 11, assuming it works. Does. These board states look pretty good. Okay, we got a Jace for our trouble. And I've got a Lily that's just continuously ticking up. Yeah. This is why I talk about playing good mana bases. Okay, do I want him on the draw for any reason? I don't really think so. Seems like my plan was fine. I could consider, like, slowing down and getting rid of Dark Rituals or something, but I don't know that that's good. I don't want a triple Sudden Edict hand. Oh, I also don't want this hand, but I think it's happening. I think this is just going to be one of those times where I am going to have to use Castle Lockdwain to bail me out. Oh, my opponent went to 5. Well, that's good, because I'm basically on a 5-card hand as well. Okay, second Dauthi Voidwalker is quite good. Let's go Swamp, Chrome Mox, imprint the Dark Ritual, play a Dauthi Voidwalker, which helps to solve, like, quote-unquote, the Uro problem a decent amount. Okay. Surprised my opponent didn't play around Opposition Agent, but, you know, whatever. I'll swing in for 3. I don't think I'm going to play around Determinus here. I think I am just going to slam the second one of these so that I'm better against spot removal. Yep. I mean, this is the fear. Brainstorm Indeterminus is the fear. But my opponent did not... Well, I guess I don't have to fetch. Alright, did you have it? No. Okay, great. I would say I am white favored now. For sure. Okay, one of them's gone. Combo. I'll bash in for 3, and then I'll draw a card with Castle Lockdwain on my opponent's turn. Sure. My opponent's currently favored. Hard to tell, because this Castle Lockdwain is going to do weird things to this game. But that's very good for me. That's also not bad. Bash in for my 3. Opponent's at 10. I think I play Lily Veil. I'll play it around a Spell Pierce effect, I guess. Let's tap differently. Back to Basics is a thing that exists that my opponent could be reasonably playing. I don't think they would play it against me, but you never know. Yep, that's fine. I thought about not even playing the Urborg this turn to play around my opponent tapping their land like that. I didn't think it was going to matter. I thought it was more important to play around a Spell Pierce effect. I still just have another Planeswalker sort of waiting in the queue, so, like, that's fine. Ooh, that's very good. I don't think I do that pre-combat, though. Make my opponent use their resources if they want to stop this damage. And I think I'll play the Ashiok. -U. Put a whole bunch of options into play for the Dauthi Voidwalker if I end up wanting to sacrifice it. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. They are just purely cycling that here. Okay, Expressive Iteration is not particularly scary right now. It's card advantage, but like my opponent is 2 hits away from death. Okay. That's fine. I may end up surgicaling Swords to Plowshares. I don't think I need to do that yet. Like, I can wait to see if I draw a creature so that makes sense. I want to take a peek at my opponent's hand. I'm going to go ahead and Surgical Swords to Plowshares, and since my life total isn't super relevant, I'm just going to go ahead and do this. Oh, we got one from hand. Alright, Endurance, Brainstorm, Shark Typhoon, and I guess I should take a snip of this. Gotta remove the one from Graveyard here. Brainstorm, Endurance, Shark Typhoon. I guess I'll cast this first. I will go ahead and just plus this so that it can survive some hits. That's something that might become relevant. Endurance in the Graveyard. Endurance not currently castable. My opponent can only make a 1/1 Shark right now. So I expect to see a Brainstorm in an attempt to fix this, but they can't fetch stuff away right now because of my Ashiok. They're really hoping to naturally hit green mana, which in their 4-color deck is at least somewhat unlikely. Do I just Surgical that to just keep them on the same stuff for a little while? I think I do. This just gets a card out of my hand anyway, which I want to do for Castle Lockdwain. Alright, so we'll pull those out. So it's Endurance, Shark Typhoon, Island. Guess I'll take a new snip. Okay. Alright, so I will play my land. I will activate this castle. That's not great, but it's whatever. Just plus this. fine with minusing the Ashiok again. I guess I just clear the top cards of our library. Yeah, it's whatever. Opponent not willing to make a small-sized shark with their Shark Typhoon. They're just gonna cast it? Oh, they're just gonna cast it. Okay. So I guess I play this tapped and activate this. Get a Cavern for my trouble. Plus this. Minus this Ashiok on you. Down to 23 cards in library. Opponent's done a pretty good job of not fetching. Do you have something that is castable? Oh, that's a big shark. That's a nuisance. So the thing is that this land has menace. I'm going to double check the wording of, I think it's 2 or more creatures, but there's a couple of effects like that. Yeah, except for 2 or more creatures. That is correct. Oh, no! You have Wasteland in your 4-color greed pile. That is some bullshit. I call Poppycock. Oh, this is great. Plus, kill the small shark. Sudden Edict, kill the big shark. Wait, hold on. Did they really not? Oh, they killed my castle instead of my hive. Do you have Swords to Plowshares? I mean, like, let's find out. Them? Jace? Go with Jace. What does this do? Exile target card from opponent's graveyard. I'll get rid of their Ponder. Okay. Do I let them fetch? Could potentially enable an Endurance, which I know is a card in their hand. Oh no, I'm gonna take these 5 cards. I have my opponent almost dead on 2 different axes. I need to just dodge like a Prismatic Ending this turn, and then this Lily Ultimate probably beats them. For sure. Well, cantrip strings can do powerful things. Like, we'll see. Oh, new Jace. There is a world where those sharks just aggro me down. And Jace just like bounces some of my zombies. Cavern's not great here. Alright. I ultimate this. You aren't a zombie by any chance, are you? No, you're a beholder. I'll name human with this. Do I want to try and kill this Jace with this? No, I think I just want to hold this back and like maybe I get better attacks later with it. Like I'd essentially just be trading my man land for a shark. I don't know that that's good. Oh, maybe it is. Yeah, maybe it is. Done that at Jace. Junk this card. Oh, they're gonna Mystic Sanctuary to the top. That's pretty cute. I obviously respect it. My opponent does have 12 cards left in library, though. So, like, that's a thing. All right. Now, let's say, so, like, Expressive Iteration is a draw spell when my opponent has 11 cards left in library. And, like, an active Jace. A weird spot for them. Okay. Here's the land. Okay. Teferi and Jace together are pretty good, because my opponent can bounce both of my zombies this turn. And I'll get hit for 4. Oh, that's not good. This is going to be tight. Oh. Yeah. I think I'm going to die to my opponent's Shark Typhoon. Thank you. Thank you, Snow-Covered Swamp. Very cool. 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, I am dead. Rough. I did not need much more. Like, I almost had my opponent milled out. I almost had them dead on damage. GG's. Alright, we're playing against Arkan here. I've kept my opening hand. It's pretty flexible. We'll see what Arkan is on. Alright, how do we want to deal with this? Probably just want to play a Bob on turn 2. Douthie Voidwalker on turn 3 is probably enough to keep Murktide from happening. Let's punch a hole with the Swords to Plowshares here. Alright, so that's going to be Volk into Dragon Rage Channeler. Cavern on human. Play a Bob. And I do need another true black source so that I can play Douthie Voidwalker. If I can't at the end of the day, it's not the like end of the world. I still have Thoughtseize or Tourach as actual plays. But if my opponent goes like Brainstorm, Fetch, Lightning Bolt here, that would not be great for me. This is somewhat likely to be another Prismatic Ending deck as well. So some of my Planeswalkers and stuff might not necessarily be safe. So this is now 3 card types in graveyard. So Dragon Rage Channeler hasn't flipped yet, but we're pretty close. I think I need to cast a Thoughtseize this turn. I'm going to do this in a way that might get punished. I think I need to try and do some scaling here. I'm not playing around Daze. Daze is the thing that punishes this line that... Fuck! Double Murktide also fucking punishes this line, Arkin. Goddamn. Alright. Fuck. Guess I take a Murktide. And then I hope that I can, like, wiggle something with a Sudden Edict. I'm not good against Murktide in game 1. Honestly, I'm not really good against Murktide, period. Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah. Dead? I feel dead. Let's go to the next game. Yeah, I knew that Murktide was going to beat me, so I tried to play around it and did not succeed. I'll bring these in as removal spells, and then the question is, like, am I supposed to play Ashiok to dampen the power of Murktide? I'm not good at beating it. I'm not sure that the answer is yes, because Ashiok has less of an impact versus the other threats. Tourach does not feel particularly good here. And then I'll probably go down some amount of discard since my opponent is playing this Expressive Iteration deck. I think I'm going to go down some Thoughtseizes. Okay. How do I feel about turn 1 Opposition Agent? Uncounterably. Not bad. I'll keep it. This is a little resource heavy for my liking. But it looks like it's happening. We'll Chrome Mox, pitch Plague. Actually, we might pitch Sudden Edict. No, we'll pitch Plague Engineer. I'll cast Dark Ritual. Then I'll play the Cavern. Oh, shit! Shit! Why do you fucking auto-pay, Moto? Oh my god. I'm so upset right now. I'm just gonna concede the match there. Alright. Cool. That is so frustrating. Alright. I'm done with the video. Have a great rest of the day. Like the video if you know what, we're done. We're gonna try again tomorrow. Have a good day.